All right, we're straight up at the top of the hour. And while I like to think my presentation is the most interesting thing in the world, it's not vital to today's event, but I hope you'll find it very interesting and also start thinking about the next steps for biotech networks. And so we're using the hop-in venue now, and it's becoming more popular. They actually just did a big round of funding, and I think that's evidence of what's to come. I think actually right now people really want to go do in-person events. However, I think the pendulum will swing back and we'll be doing virtual events more starting in the fall. Because I think everyone's just wanting to get out of their offices, etc. But it's a very exciting time. Hi, Larry. I know Larry from many years ago. So first things first, we donated 50% of the proceeds from this event to UNICEF to fight COVID in India. So thank you very much. Thanks to all of you, we were able to raise $523. And so, the reason we do this is partly, of course, for the good of the this charity, and of course for those suffering in India, and it's a very sad situation there. But also, it was strategic on my part because I knew that people might not want to pay for online events. And also when people don't pay for an online event or any type of event, they're a lot less likely to show up. So just to give you a little bit of a insight into why we do this. So this is something that we'll have to think about going forward. And I appreciate your guidance on this. And we'll be doing some polls in a little bit. But thank you again. All right, so for tonight, it looks like we've got about 27 people joining so far. So introduce yourself to the chat, in the chat on the right. And also watch the instructional video if you haven't. There's a link also in the chat. And then starting in about 20 minutes, I'll actually get it started sooner because I know you all don't want to sit and listen to me, for too long. You'll be able to choose between either speed networking or the sessions or tables, and those will be shown on the next slide. So note that you can jump in between the two. You can do speed networking for a while, then go to a table. If you have an idea for a table that doesn't exist, just let me know and I'll try to set it up. That's one thing nice about this platform. It's very malleable, and it's also online events. It's a benefit. We don't have to go out and rent new chairs, etc. We'll be putting for updates. You can also use that to call out anyone if you want to meet someone from a certain region. We've invited several hubs, the top 3. We'll be talking about that later, but certainly if you are in another country, top 3 hubs in the US, in another country, you want to connect, etc. You can also message people directly from the platform and invite them to a video call. And so this I haven't found as useful because people have to actually see the notification and connect with you. But by all means, give it a try, especially if you see someone you know. You can click on the People tab on the right, and it will show you everyone who's in the event. All right, so for tonight, or this afternoon or this morning, wherever you are, as I mentioned, this first session we'll be doing shorter than I mentioned, just to get you going. I know on the East Coast of the U.S., it's after 6 o'clock, so we want to make sure not to keep you too late. And then the speed networking and the theme tables. So this is also, these theme tables have also come from us doing speed networking for more than 10 years. So we realized that people want to talk about different topics. They don't necessarily want to meet, just a random person, no offense to anyone. But definitely check these out. It's like a Zoom meeting. You cannot change your background, so please make sure that you're in a spot that you can, you have a background that isn't too distracting. So we have drug discovery, COVID-19, career development. So this is for job seekers and hiring companies. And then regional networking, Boston, Cambridge, California, and emerging or other hubs. And what I do at these virtual events is I sit at the Q&A table all night. So if you'd like to ask me a question about the event, a general question, especially tonight, feedback about the future of biotech networks, I'd appreciate you stopping by. All right, so just to give you a little taste of the speed networking. So we, again, because of all of our experience with speed networking, we tried many, many venues. There's a lot of companies in this space right now, and Hopin was the only application that had true speed networking. So if you go to a Zoom event and they tell you they're going to do speed networking, it's usually something, they put people at a table, etc. So we're very excited about this platform. You can see in the top here in white, it will tell you how much time you have left. So just make sure that you connect before the time runs out, because you can't, in the in-person events, that I'm a stickler for getting to people to move on. And what I like about doing these online is I don't have to intervene. So just be sure. I've also suggested that you put your contact information in your bio, if possible, even in your name. So that will make sure that you're able to connect with people. And of course, these days, it's easy to find everyone on LinkedIn. You can go to the old school method and have a notebook handy as well when you meet people. All right. All right. So just to talk about San Diego Biotech Network and biotech networks over time. So what's interesting, in 2008, I found myself really wanting to start something that was kind of like the Goldilocks between organizations, trade organizations, where the events were $45 and I always felt uncomfortable, and the free events where I always saw the same people. And it's nothing against the same people, but you want to meet new people. So June of 2008, I attended Bio, which of course is going on right now, and I think several of you have attended. And I started the San Diego Biotech Network. I actually talked with a gentleman who now lives in Texas named Jason Scharf, and he actually sparked the idea. So we always wanted to be, as I mentioned, the Goldilocks in between options, so that we had high value content that was accessible. And so we had our first speed networking event in 2010. For those of you old timers, we had it at actually a Tango House in Pacific Beach in San Diego. So here's a picture of that. So then we started to feature jobs on our websites. We've always been very big proponent of connecting online. We also connect through social media. So we've had a little bit of a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn, because they had these great groups that we could email everyone, we could share updates, and then one morning I woke up and everything was gone as far as being able to contact people. So we've worked in other ways. But spoiler alert, LinkedIn is now owned by Microsoft and Microsoft Teams. So if you want to hear my take on what I think Microsoft and LinkedIn are going to be doing next, come ask me in the Q&A section. But we'll just say that we're kind of going on parallel routes, and we may end up talking to LinkedIn or Microsoft Teams about working together. So in 2017, we helped fund the March for Science, actually in 2017 and 2018. And we all know how that worked out. Everyone now is very science literate. Everyone is getting the vaccine. I'm joking, but it's very important. Of course, we're very big proponents of science communication. And then shortly after that, I think it was 2019, we started the SDBN Buzz, which is our podcast. And this is actually going to be going through some changes. Chris Connor, who has run it since the inception, has done a fantastic job, is going to be focusing more on some other items. So if you have anyone who's interested in learning how to podcast, someone who's already been podcasting, let us know. And now that we're expanding outside of San Diego, it's a really great opportunity. So in 2019, San Francisco Biotech Network and LA Biotech Network were founded mostly on the web, and all the resources are there. We had one event in October of 2019, and unfortunately COVID hit and we weren't able to have any after that. But we had a great event up there, and we'll be talking about being able to do that in the fall. So in 2020, luckily with all these new tools and our know-how, we were able to pivot to virtual events, which of course you're experiencing right now. We've been growing all this time. We've disseminate news and jobs, and we also have a shared calendar that we're going to be updating. And then finally, the launch of Biotech Networks. So it became clear to me that creating these individual, even just the logos, were difficult to create individually. So I actually worked with a graphic designer. Some of you may know I have a background in marketing, and we came up with this concept of Biotech Networks umbrella brand, and then different hubs. And of course, the obvious first expansion was in Boston and Cambridge. So we're very excited about that. And then I just wanted to also point out that we are all different people here in 2021 compared to 2019. We've all become very adept at organizing online, going to meetings, and it's a real exciting time now because these tools are making it possible to break down geographical barriers. All right, so with that, I'll introduce Biotech Networks. And so we have the parent website here, the parent organization, and I will put in the links. Let's see if I can do two things at once. Well, actually, now I realize I can't do two things at once because I have to put the full URL, but I will put all these URLs into the chat. They're also available if you download the presentation, which is linked in one of the chats. So, we're really excited about this. And of course, it doesn't end here. And for a long time, I really wanted to kind of give back the Biotech Networks to the community. And I think I'm finally ready to do that. It's a combination of being able to make enough money to support myself and not have a 9-to-5 job, and also being able to know what's needed, the infrastructure, and also the tools that are available. So it's really exciting. All right, so what are we going to do going forward? Where the tried and true is that each hub's website and social media will be a source for online news, jobs, and a community event calendar. And you may also know in at least San Diego, we're working with San Francisco. It's been a little slow just because of me, but we always promote other organizations' events. A great example is the San Diego Entrepreneurs Exchange, which if you haven't joined them, they're a fantastic organization. And in San Francisco, there are a lot of meetup groups, which is interesting, and we've worked with them as well. So that will be in each website. And then the Biotech Networks website will have the trending news. And this is something that's really exciting because we'll be able to look at user data to determine what is the trending news. And this will actually be all automatic. So we're the only organization that allows you to get news every day if you care to in all these hubs. And then, as I alluded to, in-person speed networking events will begin this fall. And so the tentative set schedule is San Diego in August, because we have a great venue, Carl Strauss, hopefully they're available, where we can have the event outside, allay some of those fears that some people might have. And I should also mention California is open today, starting June 15th. In San Francisco, we'll do in September. We've got a great location between San Francisco and South San Francisco. It's a great little bar. And Boston, we're going to take the leap to the East Coast and go to October. And I think I went for probably 10 or 15 years of my life going to Boston every summer. So I'll really be happy to go back. So if you know organizations we can work with, we've reached out to a few. Of course, we don't want to step on anyone's toes, but we think the more the merrier. Everyone could always use more connections. All right, so I mentioned we're going to start in the fall, and I know many of you are scientists and you want to know the data behind that. So I did a LinkedIn poll to ask when people are going to be ready to attend a high contact in-person event. You can think about contagion. A speed networking event is kind of a virus's, best case scenario, people touching. And 72% said that they would be ready this fall. So if you add summer and fall, actually 50% are ready now, which I was really surprised. So just to point that out. So we're also going to do hybrid networking using these new tools, and we're going to use them to break down geographic barriers, just like we're doing tonight. And so we're going to use newer online tools such as Microsoft Teams and Hopin, and we're also going to involve more volunteers. And that's been something, my Achilles heel. I haven't been able to kind of give up control because San Diego Biotech Network was my baby. And then also new types of events and activities. So we're going to have a career fair August 10th. I'll show you that in the last slide. We're really excited about that. Mentoring is a great possibility. I've learned more about that through my professional life. And then also more accessible biotech connecting and partnering events. I think the bio event is great. However, it's not always accessible due to the price. Nothing against bio, but again, we want to go for that Goldilocks option that makes it more accessible. And also, there's no reason we can't connect all year round, not just at bio. And then other hubs will be formed as infrastructure is built. And so you may have noticed, here's the press release if you want to learn more about this hybrid networking idea. Of course, hybrid is the buzzword of this month, but I really think there are great opportunities. And we have been moving in this direction with social media, et cetera, since our inception. So if you go to the right side and go to the polls, you can participate. And we're asking, which geographic hub should biotech networks expand to next? And I don't know if I'm able to see. Okay, so we have some results here. We have Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, which ironically I'm flying to tomorrow to visit my family. I'm a big fan. I have the coloring and the URL all worked out, the website address, so I'm really happy about that. It's possible that we have more U.S. West Coast people on the call, and that's why they're choosing Seattle. All right. So the next poll is, which biotech networks resource would you utilize most? And if you scroll down, you can go to that. So speed networking, online communities, within hub connecting events, between hub connecting events, career fairs. Don't have any results for that yet, but I think that the job market's going to be, it'll be volatile in a good way over the next few months. So I will continue to monitor these and update you all in the chat. So as you're speed networking tonight, and it is open, I promised you I would start it open early, so it is open. So if you can click over on the left to get started if you're tired of listening to me. But just think about the awesome possibilities of virtual partnering, mentoring, virtual conferences. We could do bio, but it could be more accessible. And we'll be sending out announcements coming soon. And then also I'm announcing the virtual career fair August 10th. So it will be for California and remote life science jobs. So I'm not quite ready to expand into the East Coast quite yet, but certainly it's coming soon. I just want to make sure we have a good event. So you can connect to it from anywhere, text or video chat. We're going to have a half day with inspirational and workshop speakers, people to help you with your resume, your career goals. And one of the things I think is the most important benefit is that it's more discreet. So if you have a job now and you want to look for another job, you're not going to bump into anyone at a virtual career fair. You're just going to go to the booths that you want to look for a job. And also less awkward. If any of you have gone to a live career fair where you're walking around in a suit with a folder full of your resumes, you know what I'm saying. So with that, I will stop the broadcast soon. Again, I'll be at the Q&A table if you have any questions. At any time, you can go to the reception, and a lot of the information, or hopefully all the information, is there. And thank you so much. Looks like we have 45 people. It's a 4-hour event. You know, don't feel like you have to do a marathon. Of course, hydrate. And, you know, go to the speed networking if you'd like to, go to the sessions or the tables. And, you know, most importantly, please give me feedback. All right. Thank you.